But let's quickly have a look. It's amazing. I did that. I did this kind of bearish bat, and it literally sold all the way back to down to this low, and it took out the C here. And basically, when I did this bearish bat, the price was here, right there. So from when I drew this bat live, the price actually dropped 19%. So I should stop drawing bearish harmonics live on these altcoins, because people are going to get really bearish and start selling. But so let me just get rid of that now. That was fun. It's fun doing that. I am seeing some kind of reversal right now, actually. Let me just see if the volume has changed at all. Get rid of my drawings. Let me just get rid of all of this. GAN. Hide that. Can keep that. That's fine. Get rid of these fixed ranges. All right. Marve saying BTC at the moment is showcasing a good price to the opening of the markets. All right. For those that are interested in Qanx, get rid of these as well. I'm going to do a little bit of an update quickly. Keep that. All right. All right, let me do some volume range pulls. See if there's any change. And go to the lower time frame. Go to the 3-day charts. So we're showing a little bit of weakness on this local range because we're back underneath the value area low, and the value area low has moved down a bit, which is good. The point of control is still at the top, and we have this value area high. I didn't mark it out before, but I'll do it now. This is the local range volume. Let me just do it on the daily chart to get a more accurate reading. So I'm ignoring these two candles, this bullish green candle and this bearish red candle. These are the two candles I'm ignoring, right, when I'm doing volume. Value area low, point of control. Just check my numbers. Yeah, they're correct. That's fine. Look at the monthly again. Monthly level there, monthly level here. Gate token launch price. Is that monthly level tapped? These two monthly levels are already traded through, so they're not going to be as strong as if they were never traded through. But because they're the only monthly levels closest to the price range, I think they're still quite relevant. Just simply because closest to the price range, they're the only two monthly levels that are holding, like where the price is in between there and there. You've got two monthly levels and the price is in between those levels. So I'm kind of keeping an eye on those. But in terms of untapped monthly liquidity, there's one up there. That's an untapped monthly level. The highest one is right at the top there, but that's quite high, so I'll ignore that. And then there's one down here, but that's traded through as well. And then the lower prices I'll just ignore because that was the hack. So we have one untapped monthly level there. I'm going to put these in a little group. Oh, I've got a group already. Just see what. Right, I'll put those down. Get rid of this. That's volume levels. Let me rename that. All right. Get rid of this fixed range now because we have the levels marked. Let me see if there's any other levels. We have weekly levels potentially. So we have a newly formed weekly level here. It's been traded through already. We have one down here, which is probably still relevant. Probably. But that's been traded through as well. You have a lot of levels which are traded through. So they could still be relevant, but maybe not. It's hard to know. Even the ones up there are traded through. Any other ones up at the top? Just gonna ignore those. And then there's one up here that's been traded through back into the golden pocket. All right. And daily levels. So we have some daily levels. We have one there. There's a couple of daily levels above us now. Untapped liquidity levels. I'll only mark the untapped ones. So we have a lot of untapped liquidity levels above us. Yeah. I'll only mark the untapped liquidity, the daily levels, the untapped ones. If they're tapped, I'm just going to ignore them. And there's none below us. There's one here. Right. So naturally, what I'm seeing here is that we let's see. So let me just chuck this in and this in. So we're underneath, you see, we're underneath the value area low. So that's quite bearish. And we've created some price levels above us, these daily levels above us on the way down. The price has been unable to get into the levels before going back down. So there's still quite strong selling. That's what I'm seeing right now. There's still quite strong selling. I don't think the market is ready to turn just yet. I just don't see it. It's always bearish to be back at the lows, Always bearish. It's never bullish to be back at the lows. After this move up, we're back at the lows. This is not bullish, that's bearish price action, right? And you can't get bullish right now. It's just impossible to get bullish, just simply because we're back at the lows, and we've formed liquidity levels above us, which are clearly going to hold the price. If there's a move up, you know, it's going to be hard to move up because of these levels that are forming. I think right now, if you want to see a change in price action, at the very least, what you need to start doing is consolidating here. But then you're creating volume at the lows. And if you create volume at the lows and the price goes down, you're creating bearish volume, which is going to be difficult to come back through. It's going to be difficult to get through. That's the problem with creating bearish volume. If you do create volume at the lows, what you need to happen is, I'll explain. You need this point of control, this whole range. So you have this whole thing is a range. This whole thing is a range, right? All of this price action is a range, even though it doesn't look like it, it is, right? Right now, the value area high is up here, which is the top of the range. The value area low is here, which is the bottom of the range, and the point of control is up in the highs, which is the most volume of this range. Yeah. So with the point of control being up in the highs, that's bearish price action because the price has been sold into the highs. Yeah. As the price was coming up, people were selling, and it created volume in the highs. I think if you start consolidating in the lows here, you also need the point of control to move into the lows. If you don't get that behavior, you're probably looking for lower, And when I'm looking at the volume put into highs, it's come to here, and the closest we are is here. So you still need quite a lot of volume here to push this and flip this lower part of this price range into support. What you really need to do now, and the problem is the price is actually below that high volume node. That's where you need to put the volume here. So you need to put the volume higher up. So the price needs to get back into the value area and start putting volume into the lows here to increase the volume at the bottom of this volume area, so the point of control can move from the top of this range to the bottom of this range, with the price holding the point of control as support above the point of control, which is now moved to the bottom of the range. Yeah. This is what needs to happen. If this what I'm saying doesn't happen, then what you're creating at the lows is bearish volume. And this bearish volume is going to be difficult to get back across if the price drops, if the price continues going down. So it's actually better for the price to just drop now without creating volume at the lows, because the longer you consolidate at the lows and put volume, the harder it's going to be to get back across that area when you're trying to get back up. Yeah, it's what you don't want. You don't want people to be buying, hoping, it's all hopium right now, that the price goes up, only to be find themselves negative 50% if and when the price goes down here into this lower range. Because in the future, what they'll probably still do is they'll probably still buy, yeah, not really knowing what they're doing. They'll probably just keep on buying, and eventually they will be in profit, and this will be the first place that they take their significant profit, because you're at a previous volume range, and it will be very difficult to get above that without the increasing volume to push through those levels. So that's the kind of bearish price action that we're forming and creating right now on Qanx. Fundamentally, it doesn't really matter what's happening with the project. Right now, the sentiment is bearish. It's not easy to change sentiment. It really isn't. And the problem with news and bullish news is that people use that as an opportunity to exit. So you can't rely on bullish news to change behavior, except for people to exit at the moment. That's what I'm seeing. So what we really need for Qanx is a higher time frame accumulation, and I'm still thinking, let me see, what was that? See, look, we had this kind of parallel channel and we've kind of lost it. It's quite bearish because we had a nice kind of reaction at the top. We had a little bit of reaction in the middle here and here and here and here and here. We clearly had a reaction at the lows there and a little bit there, and now we're just underneath that channel which I had drawn. So I'm just seeing all around bearishness right now on this chart, and I can't get bullish right now. Yeah, I mean, I think you have a back test of this GAN, which I had from the top there. Where did I draw it to? To this point here, to this pivot down here on that top there. I had this GAN fan, had a nice reaction on the 2-1. And we had a nice reaction on the 4-1 here. The rest hasn't really, like, that's almost like a front run. Had a reaction on the back test here. Maybe another back test on this 4-1 here is possible. You can't trade it. It's just an idea of where the price could react. So looking at these levels, yeah, probably here would be my next idea of a long, probably a swing failure. I think probably that would be the next trade. If you're looking for a long, probably that's the next one. Let me see if there's any kind of Slightly lower than the 50%. Don't know how strong that long would be, because even if you do swing failure, you're kind of back into resistance, and you could form resistance off that 50% to just continue going down. That could happen. So you have to be careful with those kinds of swing failure trades. They're kind of more like, even though they're potential swings, they're also very scalpish, just simply because of the fact that it's underneath this 50 fib, and you could just go back into there to resist, to just kind of just go back down. That's possible. So even though you could scalp along, you're right back into resistance. That's the problem with this one. So I'm not really fond of this swing failure, to be honest with you. Even though, yeah, I mean, I am and I'm not, because you're into some really powerful levels here. Some previous monthly, previous weekly. The only level that's really untapped here is this daily level, and it's below the 50%. The 50% that I have is from this wick low here to the high put in here. That's the retrace. You have the gate launch price. This is the kind of price action that would maybe get me interested right now. I wouldn't buy now. I think I would want the price to go back into the value area high, low, consolidate here for a while longer, and I'd only really get interested if the point of control flipped to the lower part of this volume area. Yeah, if you see that happen, then you know that volume is being put into this value area, and it's moved to the low. As long as the price gets back above the point of control, you're flipping point of control into support, and you're kind of slowing down this downtrend. The momentum of this downtrend is now starting to slow down a little bit, which is kind of what you want to do. You don't really want to buy into a strong downtrend. You need the momentum to kind of vanish or come off the price action. So I think what I would want to see now is the price to fall down, consolidate here for a little bit, and if I see this kind of consolidation range, which is bearish, and then if the price goes down and does a swing failure of the low, then I'd be interested in taking that long. And as long as the price gets back into this lower range, then that would be a really amazing entry for a long. But you have to see the price consolidate on the 50% first, and then your entry is a swing failure of that low after you see that. I wouldn't just take a swing failure if it went down, because I'd be worried that would continue and just form support on this 50%. I'd want to see the 50% consolidate, drop, maybe come back into the range, and that would be a good long. I wouldn't necessarily take the SFP on the first instance, maybe a small entry, but then I would add to that entry if we can get back into this lower range, and that would be a sign of strength after a sign of weakness. And I would want to see the SFP as well, and that would coincide with this gate token price. I would like to see this kind of price action before I got interested in taking longs at the lows here. Otherwise, I'm looking for lower, and naturally I'm interested in this golden pocket here. You have a value area high of this previous range. You have the point of control and you have a golden pocket. You have no higher time frame levels, or maybe you do. I haven't marked them. Let me have a look. On the lower part of this 6-6, you have a weekly level. You have a few weekly levels. There are some like washed higher time frame levels, but I think if we do end up in this lower range, I wouldn't even buy it on the first instance. I wouldn't be looking to buy the price on the first instance. What I would be looking for in this lower range is some kind of accumulation in this lower range. I'd like to see the price accumulate, and then I'd also like to see some volume put into this lower part of this range if the price got down there. I wouldn't just take a long. The reason why I wouldn't do that is because you still have to get back. If you get back into this volume area, this previous volume area, you still have to get back above the value area high before you go up. So I'd rather wait for the price to consolidate here, and then when the price gets back up into the value area high and back tests it somehow, then you have a really nice entry to go up. That's kind of what you're expecting then. You're expecting now the price to have consolidated enough in these lower prices to go back up. But depending on how much volume we put on the way down, you're still buying into support, but at least you're buying into resistance, but at least you're buying on support into resistance and not trying to catch a falling price. You don't want to catch a falling price. You want the price to fall as much as possible, consolidate, find some kind of base, and then when the price starts to reverse, then you want to start buying. And then obviously you're into resistance, but hopefully by then you might see an increase in volume which pushes through. It's kind of what I'm imagining for the price action if we go lower. And then what you can do is you can clone these channels to see kind of roughly how and where the price can react, because these channels have reacted in the past. The edges are the best, so I mean possibly if we do go down here, then catching this lower part of this channel will be the best place to catch the price, not necessarily the midpoint, unless you go down here and clearly reject and come back up. That's possible too. But everything's possible with the price. You just have to see where the price is reacting and forming levels of support and resistance before you decide what you want to do. At the moment, I'm not seeing any kind of bullish price action. We're underneath the value area low, and we're clearly reacting off it. Very easy to see if the price gets back in and holds a support. But even then, I want to see the point of control of this volume area come down. I don't like this. I don't like it at all. Alright, that's my Qanx analysis. I don't really have anything to say. I don't really care about the fundamentals because fundamentally for me, price action is a reflection of everything. And most of that everything is sentiment, psychology of the market, and that is all a reflection of the fundamentals. So if people are bullish, fine, but right now I'm not seeing bullish price action. I'm seeing very bearish price action, and what you want to do is you want to see a change of behavior reflected in the price, which we're not seeing right now. Right, that's my Qanx update. What time is it?